Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me Kagam. Okay you guys, so today we have a dragging video and then we're going to talk about some big H etiquette issues and a few other little bits as well. First of all, let me say thank you to one of the group moderators of my Facebook group, which is linked below. She actually sent me this a dragging story that I've been thinking about for a few days now, so thanks babe for sending it to me. So I thought we would chat about it. This is from the Big H boutique in Boston, Massachusetts in the United States. So yeah, here we go. So this was left on Google and this is what someone said. She said, I have been a long time client at Big H Boston. Should say Big H, but obviously there you go. She said Hermes Boston. My former SA was very knowledgeable and helpful in every way. I occasionally got bag offers, but since the pandemic happened, my SA left the company and I was assigned to a different SA this year. Honestly, I have nothing against the new SA, but I'm very disappointed with Big H as a company. I get it, it's C19 era and the supply is short, but especially Big H Boston has zero, and she capitalized it, 0 bags this year unless you're a new client and have spent millions. And it will be like this for a while. People are willing to spend money on other things, and they have a new strategy that they tend to offer bags to new clients so they can hook them up with the brand and spend more in time. I'm honestly sick of their games. I've spent a lot of money and time at the Boston boutique, and this year I was treated very poorly. Okay. We have a lot to chat about because this is a really interesting dragging story. So basically, she's dragging Big H for offering BKCs to new clients, but she's also dragging them for what she feels like are slights. So we're going to dissect it, we're going to go through it, we're going to agree. Is she right? Is she wrong? Who's right here? Is Big H right? Is Big H wrong? Make sure you keep watching and watch all the way until the end. Okay, so a few things here. This is a dragging story that shows the perils of your Big H SA leaving. You know me, honey, we don't use those really annoying terms on this channel like Hermes fairy, your Big H fairy. I'm sorry. We don't do that here. So if you like using that term, honey, you go use that in groups, because over here we don't do that. Her Big H SA essentially left. So her connection to scoring great bags basically left. So then she's left at the mercy of the new SA. Maybe the new SA doesn't want to fight for her as much as the old SA wanted to fight for her. And a lot of you who shop at the Boston boutique have told me privately, like a bunch of you, at least 5 of you have told me privately that the Boston boutique is very competitive. It's really, really tough to get quota bags at that particular location. So this review doesn't surprise me because I've heard crazy things about this store. I've heard that it's very, very competitive. It's very tough to get an offer. But here she talks about, you know, there's 0 bags from the boutique and it'll be like this for a while. People are willing to spend, listen how she refers to the Big H game, honey. She says, about the Big H game, she says, people are willing to spend money on other things, and they have a new strategy that they tend to offer bags to new clients so that they can hook them up with the brand and spend more in time. What she's saying in translation is people are going 1-to-1, 2-to-1, buying a bait, and they also have this other strategy where new clients are taking priority over old clients, or clients who are older in the boutique and who have been there for a longer period of time, and basically who are like veterans of shopping at that particular store. So rookies at Big H Boston are getting offers, and the veterans are not getting the offers basically the way that they had hoped, right? Well, my view on this is the way the cookie crumbles. This is, in my opinion, this dragging story or review of Big H Boston is actually a microcosm of Big H's business model. I think they've completely baked it in the business model where they do want to offer those unicorn stories where someone is like, hello, I'm new to Boston and I've just moved here, I'd love to get a bag, and then they sell that person a bag at maybe 0.9, 0.8, 0.5 to 1 maybe. And then after that person gets the bag, they think, oh wow, you know, Big H is so amazing and all of this. I've seen some really like sucking up comments in so many groups about Big H being so amazing, oh my essay so amazing, and all of this, because it's like their first experience. But then the people who've been shopping at Big H for a long period of time, they're not going to be like, oh my essay is so amazing and this is so amazing, because they know what time it is. They know that's how they really win. They suck you in, and then you think that everything is fine. Now for me, I have to shop in Paris. Paris is a different kettle of fish because it operates differently. Paris also has its own shenanigans, its own reeling in story, where they give unicorn experiences to a very few amount of people who get the lottery, who win the lottery, and then everyone else is duking it out like it's World War II. Okay, I've told you guys before, it's like Dunkirk but for bags. Okay, and people are fighting hard to score. Now, in her case, I think what happened here is that essentially she was saying her former essay was knowledgeable and helpful, and occasionally she got bag offers, meaning you were not going one-to-one, boo-boo, okay, but your essay left the brand and started working somewhere else, and then now you have to play the game like everyone else, and now all of a sudden those offers aren't coming the way they used to come. That's right. And now it's tough, and it's not the way it used to be. This dragging story is indicative of a feeling that I see in forums and groups, particularly groups. People feel annoyed that new clients are coming to the brand and getting bag offers over people who've been shopping at the brand for a very long period of time. I don't think that you can be annoyed that people are being offered bags, even if you've been waiting and they're new clients. This is a business after all. They're not in the business of selling you, handmade bags that are so amazing. And honestly, I think that Big H gets away with way too much. I'm going to be holding Big H Honey more accountable on this page. Big H, you're that chick, but I'm sorry, you're not gonna run people ragged. You get me? And I have to say, salute to everyone in Texas, salute to everyone in Austin, because I do feel like the Austin launch kind of jolted Big H a little bit. A few of you have told me that, Big H know that they were wrong, and that the way it was handled was wrong, and that the launch wasn't done properly. Like, Big H apparently know, and they're aware of the bad press. Salute to everyone in Austin for letting Big H know you're bang out of order, because the way that was handled was bang out of order. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't care who's making a Kelly or Constance or a Birkin in France. I do not care. Okay, if Jupiter and Juno are making that bag, no one can get away with the shenanigans that Big H got away with. And to be fair, I feel like the people who shopped at the Austin boutique, you have held Big H accountable. It feels like a little victory for clients, so I'm cheering for you. Now, in this case though, I feel like it's part of the business model to offer great offers to new clients to get them sucked in, thinking, oh, I don't have to play the game and all of this. Some of you have told me that you have great rapport with your essays and you don't have to go the full one-to-one. If you're in Europe, you can't compare your situation to people in Canada, in the US, in Asia, and Australia. It's just not the same. The wish list system is not the same. The sort of pressure to spend isn't there in Europe. Like, I was chatting to one of you, and one of you was like telling me like, oh my God, babe, go here. And I was telling you that in terms of France, like when I go to France this year, and I was telling you that basically for me, I'm not going anywhere that I wouldn't be going anyway. So I want to go to Geneva because I want to go there on holiday. I want to go to France, but to certain places because I want to go there anyway. I'm not going anywhere to score a bag. It's just not that important to me. I'd rather than just take my energy, go to Fendi, go to Dior, go to Louis Vuitton and get an exotic there, and actually be offered champagne and not be treated like a beggar. Remember like in Beauty and the Beast where the old lady, like asks for help and everything, and then the prince who becomes the beast like ignores her and whatever. I am not going to be treated like dirt. Okay, I have my limits to how much I can be treated. I actually don't mind the game stuff, but I don't like some of the other shenanigans that come with shopping at the brand. So I have my limits. My limits are, I'm not going to go somewhere if I wasn't going there anyway. So like I have friends in Marseille, I have friends in Tours, and I've always wanted to go to Monaco. I would go to those places, and because I want to go there anyway. I want to go to Geneva anyway. And coincidentally, there are big H boutiques in all 4 of those places that I just mentioned. But if you were like, oh my God, I heard you can score in Lille. If I'm not going to Lille anyway, I'm not going there. That's just how I am, because to me, it's not worth putting my husband through it and going on this like wild goose chase to score. That's me. There are other people who can handle it. However, I could handle, 10 days in Paris trying every single day. That doesn't bother me. Now, for some people, trying 10 days, trying, that's probably a bit too much. But 10 days for me is okay, because I know that I don't have that much of an opportunity to score, if that makes sense. So when it pertains to this particular Big H Boston story, I think the key thing here is don't get comfortable, okay? Because you are basically at the mercy of someone working at another company. Your SA is a human being. They might be working at Big H. They might say, I'm tired. I don't want to work for this brand. It's well known in the luxury retail world that Big H SAs don't get paid as much as Louis Vuitton or Chanel SAs. That's well known. So they're not that well paid. So now you can see why the games are so important for the SAs that work at the brand and want to work there, because they really have to fight hard to get that commission, right? So I think the key thing here is don't rest on your laurels and think just because you have this great relationship. Remember, I told you, honey, I'm only in one relationship, boo-boo, and I'm married, and I'm in a relationship, in a marriage with my husband. Okay, I am not married to any SAs or whatever. And I feel like the better way to do this is to understand that at any given time, your relationship with Big H can change because your SA can leave. Now, some SAs leave and it's fine, and then you get connected to someone else and it's fine. We've all seen what happens sometimes when SAs leave, and then it turns into a terrible situation where the person never finds their feet again at the brand. But I think that this person isn't happy that Big H is offering really fantastic offers to new clients. Big H does that because it is part of the business model. The same way in Paris is part of the model to offer a Kelly 25 gold on gold to someone who's never spent £1. It's completely part of the model to do that in Paris, because it feeds these unicorn stories, which are 1% of, literally 1% of the people who are getting these incredible opportunities, because almost everyone at Big H in Paris is spending money. It's the same thing with this Boston thing, right? So they want new clients to come to the boutique. They want to offer them and give them that great experience. Oh, I was given this and this, and oh, she's so nice, my SA this, my SA that, so that they can hook more people in. And then the people who have been just chilling at the boutique for a very long period of time, all of a sudden are waiting a year and a half. Then it turns into 2 years. Some of you have told me one of you was telling me the other day, it's almost 3 years since you got a bag and you just got one. I was chatting to one of you privately, and that was crazy. Imagine waiting almost 3 years because you had been shopping at the brand for such a long period of time. They know oh, we got her. So I think one of the antidotes to this is, like I said, stop putting Big H Honey on a pedestal. We love her, boo-boo, but on this channel, we don't worship brands. We hold them accountable for their games. We elevate them and uplift them when they're right, okay? And so I'm gonna elevate and uplift Big H Honey. I'm looking at her website. Big H, the horse, is looking very diverse. I can see a lot of black models on the website. I can see a lot of mixed race models on the website. I'm digging it. I'm loving it in my McDonald's voice, okay? That's fantastic. That's great. Love to see the diversity. However, okay, when you also do your shenanigans of not offering bags to people who have been waiting, people who have gone 1-to-1, people who've gone 1.5 to 1, 2-to-1 in favor of new clients, I can see how that can be stressful. And that's why I would say to you guys, don't put her on a pedestal. Shop from other houses and make sure that you're spreading your luxury budget across. Now, I was having a chat with one of you and you were telling me I was actually advising you, and I was saying to one of my subscribers you're really stressed out by the Big H game because the game has you spending all of your money at this brand. You should just, go to Dior, go to Louis Vuitton, go to Chanel, Gucci. Gucci's got some beautiful things going on at the moment. And it was a really interesting response from one of my subscribers who was saying, well, I've put all of my money now into shopping at Hermes, in terms of the luxury shopping budget. There's no budget left to shop at other houses. I actually think that this is a mistake. We had a private convo. We had a great private conversation and we finished the conversation well, but I wanted to just make it a general point point that I don't think that that's a good idea. I think you should be spreading your budget and shopping other houses so that your SA can see that you're not desperate. I feel like they can pick up when you're desperate. I feel like they can tell when you only shop from Big H. And I feel like they need to know, honey, you are not the only game in town. You're not the only game in town. You're not the only film in town. And we can go to many different cinemas and have a good time. And I think that they need to know that. I think one way of showing them that is just making sure that you're shopping from other houses. They'll tell that you're shopping from other houses. It's quite hard to miss someone with like a VCA bracelet on, a Cartier bracelet on, or a Rolex or an Audemars on their wrist. Like that stuff is obvious, like, okay, oh, this person's wearing Dior Prêt-à-Porter or wearing Chanel Prêt-à-Porter. Like it's obvious that that person shops somewhere else. Whereas I feel like if you're almost too dedicated to the brand, I feel like that's when they start playing games and start toying with people. The whole Austin saga, which in the group we had chatted about in a lot of detail, and there were some good, cheerful, happy stories. Two of you had a good end to the Austin saga. A few days later, two of you went and you scored, and that's great. But in the group, when we were talking about it, I was thinking about Big H for Africa. I was thinking, oh my God, one day when Big H open in like an African country, it'll probably be South Africa, to be fair, if Big H were ever to come here. If Big H ever come to Africa, it has to be South Africa. If they did what they did in Austin, let me tell you something, sweetheart, you would close the boutique that day. Let me tell you, let me stop you right there, okay? There is a demand for Birkins and Kellys and Constances where people are going to drag you, and no one, okay, is going to make me feel any sort of way. And salute to one of my Facebook group members, Rochelle. She left a really great comment when we were discussing the Austin debacle, and I'm paraphrasing her comment. Hi Rochelle, your comment was so great. And she said, no one was going to make her feel any kind of way or treat her like that and then get access to her money. Okay, facts. You don't get away with that. We need to hold Big H accountable for shenanigans a little bit more. I actually don't, like I said, I don't mind the game. I just don't like the disrespect. The 1-to-1 spending, 2-to-1 spending, that's fine. But the disrespect, no thank you. Now, in her case, she probably feels disrespected. She feels like she's been disrespected because she's not getting bags the way she did. Well, maybe she should have done a little bit more networking. Maybe she should have also just been getting a feel for what's going on or understanding like what's the tea. I heard that Boston is very competitive. I heard it's like 2-to-1 in that boutique, sometimes 2.5-to-1. So that's a tough situation because you can see there she was saying she occasionally got bag offers. That means that she wasn't spending that much money. She was just getting them from time to time and she was happy and her SA was knowledgeable and all of this stuff. Now, I just wanted to chat about Paris really quickly. Paris is also quiet. Not a lot going on there. I'm not really hearing that much. I'm always on the lookout for Paris because it directly affects me. So I'm always just trying to see what the tea is. It's quite quiet there. Like I said, there's so much gatekeeping around Paris, and a lot of Paris, like Parisian stuff, I do my own original research now. Like I don't rely on things I read in forums and groups anymore because I feel like there's a lot of gatekeeping and misinformation and people are saying things which aren't correct in order to keep people away. I do still feel like there's a lot of opportunity outside of Paris, but like I said, you have to be going there anyway. So it's pretty quiet there at the moment. I just wanted to let you know. Those of you who are heading there, you let me know how you do. But I heard it's very quiet. I heard that the stock situation is also down, it's low. It seems to me that they're taking stock out of France and they're giving it to various countries in Asia, Australia, the US and Canada. That's the kind of feeling I'm getting because it seems like stock is quite thin on the ground there. But those of you who are heading there soon, you let me know. I'm more focused right now on my trip to Johannesburg, which will be happening soon. And then once I'm done with that trip, then I'll start thinking about when I'm going to go to France. But it'll be at some point this year because I'm just really busy with work as well. So I have to concentrate on that. There's something else I wanted to talk about that I thought was really interesting. Again, a lot of this is through, interactions with you guys and a lot of my own original research. So I got a DM about a situation going on in a Big H boutique in the US, and basically, just to paraphrase, and I have the permission of the person to share this, the person was like, am I being too pushy? And they were showing me like screenshots of the way they were like writing to their essay, and I was like, look, I think you're being too pushy. I do think pushiness and being forceful and being maybe a bit too firm is a massive turn off to essays. I think it's tough because you don't want to seem like you're afraid of your essay and all of this, but at the same time, I feel like when you're a bit like too pushy, I think that's a huge turn off to the people who work in luxury retail, because they're like, okay, God, I have to go to work now, and then I have to hear from Kagem, who's constantly whinging and moaning and complaining about scoring bags, and I'm just so tired of hearing her whinge, moan, and complain kind of thing. So I think like being pushy is something that a lot of you need to kind of like think about if you're pushy. If you're pushy, I think an example of being pushy is something like this. Like sending a text and asking when you're getting a bag in. Like, I think that's pushy, and I think that's a bit over the top. We all know that, particularly for those who are in the US and Canada, essays do not discuss BKCs via text. Because it is taboo, and it's not something that BKH actually likes, because they don't want anyone to think that you have to play a one-to-one game in order to score a BKC. But we all know that's the truth. I feel like asking directly for a quota bag, and you live in the same, like you don't live far from the boutique via text, I think that's pushy and excessive and a bit aggressive, and it definitely breaks one of those like unwritten rules that we've talked about previously on the channel. I think another example of being pushy is just constantly talking about getting a quota bag. Like maybe you shop at the brand twice a month, you bring it up every time you go into the boutique. I do think that's pushy. If you're going often, there's some people who shop at the brand every week. I think that's a little bit much. I'm going in every week, but let's say you go twice a month, which twice a month to me I think is fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think bringing it up every single time you have an appointment and every single time you go in, I think that's aggressive. I think that is a turn off, and I think your SA will get tired of that, and by proxy will get tired of you. So I think of the way you would want to be treated. Would you want to deal with someone who's pushy, or would you want to deal with someone who is dedicated but chilled out and relaxed? You know the wish list, they know the wish list, everyone knows what time it is. I think you can gently remind them and be like, oh, I, like a few months ago I told you about, that I was interested in a Birkin or a Kelly or whatever. I'm going on a holiday with my husband, with my boyfriend. Do you think I can have the bag before then? That's like one of my favorite things. I feel like that's a nice low pressure way to just hint about your bag. Don't bring up anniversaries. I don't feel like anniversaries are irrelevant. I feel like the cool thing about bringing up a holiday or a travel is that something that the essay themselves can kind of visualize even for themselves. Like, oh, I'd love to be on a holiday right now with like a nice handbag on the beach, sipping cocktails, watching the sun go down kind of thing. Whereas if you tell your essay about your anniversary, I mean, to be honest, who cares? I mean, do you know what I mean? Like, if that was me, I'd be like, boo boo, I do not care. But if you told me like you're going on a really nice holiday, you get me, like you're going to like a really nice resort in Madagascar, or you're going to a beautiful resort in Grenada or Guyana, like I'll be like, ooh, I would want to be there in a really nice swimming costume with my Kelly 25 kind of thing. I think that it needs to be done lightly, gently. But I do think that you can gently remind them about a bag. So say you have an upcoming trip, like, hey guys, well, hey then, obviously not guys, but, hey, your essay's name, like when you see them in person, like, oh, I'm so excited. In 2 months, I'm going on holiday. It's been crazy with the world being locked down, but now I feel safe to go on holiday. Do you think I'll be able to get my Birkin or Kelly by then? It's like that. Make it sound much better than the way I said, but something like that. I think you going on a trip, you going on a holiday, those are not milestones. That's you living your life. You get me? Whereas you being like, oh, this is my man and me and this and this and this and this. I mean, I think that's fine and everything if the essay knows you, but I think they hear it every day. They're tired. They're tired of hearing it. So it's just a little bit of a different way of gently reminding them about your bag. I have lots of ideas. So if you want to hear those ideas, you let me know. But anyway, Make sure you go join my Facebook group, because I feel like the Facebook group is where the best ideas and tips and strategies are coming from. It's all linked below. So make sure you go join and go follow me on my socials and stuff. So yeah, my TikTok and my Instagram. I'd love to know what you guys think about being pushy and being forceful. I think something else to note as well is that you might not think that you're pushy, but you're actually pushy. So when I was talking to this individual and I saw those screenshots, to me, it was very pushy. And I have worked in sales. I've done cold calls on the phone where I had to call 100 people a day and sell on the phone. So if someone knows how to be pushy, it's me. And some of those messages were a bit much. They're a bit forward. It was like a spider on your back, okay? It was a bit much. I think those are things that that if you're waiting for a bag, you should think about, and you should really maybe just tone down a little bit. I think it's kind of like dating. It's like a romantic relationship. I think the person who doesn't sound desperate for a bag is the person who gets the bag. You're not a punk. Okay, you're not a punk, and you're not gonna let them kind of get away with making fun of you, kind of thing. So it has to be a delicate balance. If I was in a one-to-one country, I would just be firm, gently remind them and prod them, but keep living my life, cashing my checks, shopping at other brands, living life, honey. And when you go for the appointment, oh, where did you go? Like, where have you been recently? What have you been up to? Oh yeah, just the other day I was just at Dior looking at their new ready-to-wear. Remind them what you're about. Remind them that your wallet, okay, has legs, honey, and it can go into any boutique that it wants to go into, okay? So I just wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page, because I know some of you are waiting for offers. Although the good thing is a lot of you are starting to get offers, like in the Facebook group right now. There's so many of you getting offers, so that's positive, and that makes me feel happy and excited to see so many of you getting offers. That makes me feel excited. I'm patient. I know when it's God's plan and God's timing. When God wants me to have that Kelly Pichette or shadow, He will give it to me. I'm in no rush whatsoever. There are lots of other great houses in the meantime. It's fun bringing you these dragging stories. I think some of you were like, oh, when are you gonna go? When are you gonna go? Please go soon. I'm not in any rush to go to France anytime soon. I'm actually more excited about my Johannesburg trip, and there's no Hermes there, there's no Chanel there. It's just Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Versace, Cartier, Bulgari. I'm actually way more excited about those brands, to be honest, than Big H right now. So I just covered these because I know you love them. But anyway, I do have some bait lists coming next week. Thank you to everyone who reached out to me privately via Facebook to send me their bait lists. Thank you. It was really cool. Just a quick note though about those. I'm only featuring bait from 2021 to 2022. So if you scored like a few years ago, please don't be offended if I don't feature your bait list. It's only because we want to feature like new offers, so from last year and this year. But thank you to everyone who reached out. I'm going to start sharing those very soon. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow in my next video.